How's it going, everyone? KingBlackToof here. So, on the 23rd of May, it's not a perfect time to play some more Gwent, but it is a perfect time to play some Witcher 3 Gwent in anticipation for the public beta on the 24th. Now, a lot of information has come out, and we're going to go over it. We're going to split it up quite a bit, and our first topic is the faction passives. They are no longer in the game when the public beta comes around. There are no faction passives anymore. So, a lot of people are very shocked by this. It is quite a big change, and I actually applaud CD Projekt Red for making such drastic changes. I think a lot of us forget that this is still in beta, and CD Projekt Red are great in that they don't, they found that something is not working to their creativity. It's limiting them more than enabling them, and so they're happy to just change it. And it shocked a lot of people. It shocked me when I first heard about it. But in general, I think this is a great change. Not only does it get rid of the faction passives, which are the most powerful, which is obviously, I feel, Scoia'tael and Monster Consume. Oh, sorry, just Monsters. Monster Consume. But it also gets rid of, Nilfgaards, Skelliges, and Northern Realms. But it's not as simple as just they've gotten rid of them. It means that they have more flexibility of where they want to put them. Most of the time, they've placed the faction abilities onto the cards themselves instead. Okay, so there's some great examples, and the first one is probably Skellige. So units no longer gain +1 base strength at the start of round 2, another +1 base strength at the start of round 3, because they're Skellige, or because they're in fact just on your side of the board in some way. That's no longer the case. Instead, they've been put onto certain cards with the tag veteran. It's a keyword. It means that this card that has a veteran keyword will gain 1 base strength at the start of round 2, and will gain 1 base strength at the start of round 3. So they'll gain 2 base strength over the course of the game. And this is only applying to certain Skellige cards, probably quite a few of them, but not all of them. We saw that the Priestess of Freya did not have the veteran tag. Now, this may change in the future, but it means quite a big deal. It means that the Priestess of Freya is going to stay as a 1 strength unit for the whole entire game. This means that if Savage Bear still do their ability where they ping something, but if the opponent has a Savage Bear on the board, your Priestess of Freya are useless for the entirety of the game, where usually they would become viable in turn 2 with a Savage Bear, round 2, sorry, and they would become viable in round 3 with a Savage Bear. So we've got to be careful about this. We don't know if Savage Bear is still the same, though, at the moment. Other things like war longships, most likely light longships, they don't get veteran, they don't get stronger, which is understandable because they're ships and it doesn't make sense. So I like that, and that seems to fit quite well. It allows them to make cards and not have to worry about these cards getting too high. It also affects like spies and stuff, like emissaries, ambassadors, Iris, for example. You could medic out Iris now, and she wouldn't become immediately 2 strength, 3 strength over the course of the later turns, which was one of the problems. So Iris is actually viable in round 3 now, because she's neutral, she doesn't have veteran. Great, that is great. That means if you get Iris in round 3 and you've got a Savage Bear, useful to you. So there's a lot of really nice ways that this has been tailored onto a lot of their units, but not all of them. I think we'll have to have a good look at these kind of units for Skellige and just sort of, we'll be surprised that some units don't get it. I was very surprised by the Priestess of Freya, but things could change. But this is generally healthy for Skellige. And the next great example is Monsters, and the fact that their passive has been, random and annoying for people, and then it became great, and then it became godlike, and then it became a little worse, but still actually reasonably good. So they've struggled to make it good while also fair, while also not RNG. And so just removing it outright weakens monsters a lot, incredibly. It means they don't get to keep anything. However, again, the ability has been pushed onto the Ekimara specifically. So the Ekimara was used most of the time to consume a unit, and you would keep the Ekimara. So it really is a natural just sort of shift from monster passive onto Ekimara. It means some of the more stronger tactics are not possible anymore. So you can't keep a Vran warrior that has suddenly become 55 strength, you can Ekimara the Ran Warrior and become 61 strength or something, but it means that the Vran won't continue its ability, it won't stay on forever, and the Ekimara itself is not a problem, it's just the strength attached to it. So the Ekimara consumes something and gains resilience on itself. It is also dealable, you can deal with it, you can lock it, you can scorch it, that type of thing. If you scorch the Ekimara, it doesn't not just progressively go on to the unit that was played before it. So it is a definite, finite, resilient unit that is supposed to interact with the monster passes. So it's quite a heavy nerf since it can be dealt with. And you don't get to keep massive abilities over like the Vran Warrior, the Rakas Behemoth, and really powerful things. It's just purely about the strength and that carrying over with the Ekimara. We don't know about Scoia'tael. I think that is just outright gone. So no making the opponent start the first turn. Absolutely amazing. I'm very happy with that. I really didn't like it so that they made you start first the entirety of the game, gaining them quite nice card advantage and stuff. So that is really good. We also know that spies have been sort of generalized, card advantage techniques have been generalized across all factions. So I think the Scoia'tael passive is just kind of gone, and they're going for more different types of archetypes and not worrying so much about card advantage, making them a strong faction in their own right and relying less on card advantage to be able to win. Northern Realms was a faction which is hidden to us a lot. Again, we know that promote has kind of been pushed away. There's not many promotes now. Nilfgaard actually has a promoting card, I believe. So promoting may allow something a little bit more. It may not just turn gold, but it may boost them and turn them gold just in general. The faction ability may have been placed onto promote, so you promote and gain +2 or something. But yeah, so as far as I'm aware, Northern Realms have just kind of lost their faction ability. But that one was hidden from us. We'll have to wait until we see the PTR or the public beta to see any more about that. And finally, the Nilfgaard. Now, Nilfgaard was obviously the Mulligan. In essence, you can kind of say that they lost it. But in actuality, what has happened is that everyone has gained the Nilfgaard passive. You get the Mulligan at the start of the game, and then at the start of round 2, all factions now get a Mulligan, so they get to redraw 1 card, and at the start of round 3, everyone gets to Mulligan 1 more card, which is just great for the game. It adds consistency, where other card games are taking away consistency. Was it Duelist, I think? They removed that or something. I can't remember, I may be just making that up. But this is adding consistency, which is the best part about Gwent. RNG, having a crappy draw in round 3 doesn't feel great. Now, if you've still got the potential of drawing a card, mulliganing it, and getting a bad draw, but then it's a little bit more your fault for building that type of deck and playing that sort of way. It makes it a lot more consistent. It's just way better, Getting Roach on round 3 or in any particular scenario is not a death knell now. For certain factions, you've just got this crappy card. If you get like an Arrakis or 2 in your hand or 2 Witches, you can get rid of 1 at the end of the round. It means you can't play it in round 1, but that's a choice you've got to make. So I really like that. I mean, even in monsters, you could like play 2 Crones. You could play a Crone because you've got 2 in your hand. Other one comes out, and then you got this Crone in your hand. You could reshuffle it and then use Caretaker on the opponent's Crone or something like that and pull that other one out for, decent value there. So there's some nice options there, really. But I think it's just generally very healthy for the game to be able to consistently. Now, because, I used to, when I was very early in Gwent, start playing like I hoped the opponent wouldn't have things. This was very early in Gwent, before King of Beggars and Owl's Double Cross and things like this, where deck thinning wasn't as easy. But I'd used to play the game hoping they wouldn't get that card. I hope they don't get that card. He's got 7 cards left. Let's hope he doesn't get his gold here. And it's not a viable strategy, really. I really much prefer that people can get access to the cards they want, which is one of the prime reasons why they essentially, for the monsters, put Kayron onto a leader card, because he's so viable and valuable for monsters that it's best to have him when you can. And this is just going to help. You can get the cards that you want and you need, which is just, if you build a whole deck around Becca's Twisted Mirror, you need Becca's Twisted Mirror. And this will help. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful. So faction passives, I think excellent for taking them out. They did a very nice job of implementing some where they can. I think Northern Realms do have things that get buffed and promote and stuff, or maybe not. But yeah, I'm very happy with that particular change, and the Mulligan to go with it as well. I think it's just going to be outright healthy for the game. I think it's going to take a lot of getting used to. I think a lot of people are going to expect monsters to keep a lot of units without Ekimara. But tell me what you think. This is our first topic out of the billion that we've got to cover. But definitely a great start for just the balance and the health of the game. I think Scoia'tael is not going to be as toxic to me as I feel it used to be. They have to play by the same rules as everyone else, which is just so good. Now, I said that before, and a lot of people said they play by the same rules. Everyone plays by different rules because they're factions. But you know what I mean. Like, they have to abide by the rules of if you win, you go first, and it just feels good. That they're not breaking the core mechanics of the game, rather than just adding a little bit of flavor to them. So thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next on the next topic, which is going to be, I haven't decided. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again very soon.